Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Publicly Buzzed Live. Thank you so much for being here. Appreciate it. Yes, we have a special show for you here tonight. We're going to be going into some more of the Delphi stuff, and we have none other than Bob Motta from Defense Diaries coming to hang out. Dan is not here tonight. He actually had to go to an airport. Actually, he's in the chat here, but he just got back to the house, but he had to pick his wife up, who was getting back from the Philippines, so he had to take a little bit of a hiatus. He will be returning for Feral Friday, but, ladies and gentlemen, we have none other than Bob Motta. What's up, dude? And he's looking good.
What's up?
He's looking damn good.
What's up? What's
yeah,
up?
man. Not much, dude. And you look awesome. Yeah, like there's nothing choppy happening.
Ah, man, dude, I don't know.
You look
that was
good.
brutal last night, bro.
Hey, like I was telling you privately.
Maiden voyage on the old Defense Diaries YouTube channel, my friend.
Dude, there's a lot of okay. That visually it sucked. You know, there was some audio issues, but you still managed to keep 150 people for like 2 hours, an hour and a half, 2 hours, given just the fucking facts, dude. I think that's the most impressive thing I've seen.
I mean, look, dude, the fucking thing's almost got 3,000 views, and it's the biggest piece of shit I've ever seen. So, I mean, hey, I'll take it. It can only go up from here, Steve. It can only go up.
We're gonna get you set up too, dude. I was telling Dan I need to figure out his schedule. We're gonna get you set up for this Saturday for the next one next week.
Dude, it takes a village to raise a Motta. You know what I mean?
100%. Everybody in here right now, thank you so much. I see a lot of people hanging out. Shannon, Mandy, what's up? Kelly, Mind of Monsters, Stevie Irwin, what's going on, everybody? Appreciate the hell of it. Stevie Irwin is the man. I'm gonna go ahead and hype him up right now. Please follow this man.
Stevie. I love Stevie. Stevie's the man.
Right there. Ricky knows it will get better. Yeah, right there. Follow Stevie, ladies and gentlemen. And if you need any work done, contact Stevie, because he is.
Y'all need like any kind of graphic design work. Stevie's the dude, and I'm talking like turn around in like half hour on some fire shit too. Like I hit him up. I'm like, yo, and I was telling Steve that I had this great graphic like to open our show with that Stevie had done for us, and of course I have no idea how to put it into the streaming thing that we use to get it up so it shows up at the beginning of our shit. So I mean, I'll figure it all out.
It's gonna be coming.
I have this weekend. I made a solemn promise that by Monday, for Monday's stream, I will firmly have my head out of my technical ass, and I'll know what I'm doing. So, and that's like you said, man, you and Dan are going to help. It takes a village. It really does, dude.
100%, man. 100%. We got a team here we're all supporting each other, man.
Indeed we are, my friend.
Holy shit. Well, first of all, let's make sure the sound effects are working here, because I see Holly Berry just gifted out 5 memberships here. City Kitty, Glenna, Miss Leia, King of Kings grabbed one.
Berry's coming in hot.
Bobby Hansen. Fuck yeah. Welcome, everybody. Welcome. A little dance there, too. What's going on? Allie's in here as well. Hell yeah. Nice.
Oh, yeah. My girl's up in here.
That's awesome. Right. Yeah, you guys were laying it down last night.
Sure, I don't say anything legally incorrect, so she likes to monitor my all my interviews now. She's like, yeah, I heard you say something incorrect there, so she'll text me. Yeah, you fucked that one up, buddy.
Actually, it was really fun to watch her try to reel you in last night.
Yeah.
She's like, all right, we got to reel this thing sideways.
Like, she's poking me. Her old trick used to be kicking me under the table. Like, like during trials, I'd get all pissed off. I'm like, why are you kicking me under the table? She's like,
sometimes you need a good woman to reel you in sometimes.
Dude, she is beyond a good woman. She's the whole package, bro.
So yeah, Bob, I'm sure. I know last night you were trying to get into the answer from the state on this kind of. You didn't really get to get deep into it, but I have went through both. The memorandum, which came out, I guess, almost a week ago now. Yep. And then this came out on the 25th, and yeah, man, hold on, I've got this. We're gonna pull up over here and talk about it.
Yeah, it's like a rabbit hole situation,
Yeah, it's crazy, dude. And it is. That's literally all that's kind of taken over the media cycle. I know you were saying that the day it came out, you were like, Jay, this is about to take the fuck over. And dude,
Prediction.
dude, the coolest coverage, I'm going to say it, is you with Court TV. It's really good, man. I was at work this week, and my boss is literally, on her computer working. All of a sudden, she just starts talking to me about Delphi. We're not discussing this normally. And I look over, and you're on her computer. She's watching a clip from Court TV. I was like, oh, shit.
Yeah, and I want to tell you a story. So that night when I was on with Vinny, I had agreed to that interview the night before I was flying, because I think the memo dropped like 2 a.m. Tuesday morning. Wednesday, the booker for Court TV hits me up. She's like, yo, would you like to come on with Vinny? And I've been on, I'm on Court TV all the time, but it's always during the daytime. So this was my first, yo, we want you on prime time. So I'm looking, and I'm flying out to Orlando for CrimeCon that night. And she's like, well, it's prime time, so we would have you on at 8 p.m. Eastern. So I'm flying from Central to Eastern. I'm looking, and I'm like, all right, I land in Orlando. I'm scheduled to land at 6:22, which means that's going to give me an hour 40 to get off the plane, to get my checked bag, to get an Uber. I kind of Google mapped how long it was from the hotel to the airport and vice versa. Got to get checked into the room with the craziness of CrimeCon going
People
on.
everywhere.
Get up to the room, put the fucking internet in, get my shit set up, all that stuff. And so, of course, so I accepted. I'm like, I could do that. I'm going to make it happen. There's no way I'm turning down Vinny. I got to get on the show. So flight, we're up there. And dude, the captain. So we got some news from the cockpit. We're gonna have to circle around a huge storm. So there's a delay. So we're flying around this storm. So
Son of a bitch!
Exactly. I'm sitting there, and I'm like, oh my god, it's 6:45, and we're still in the air. I'm like, I'm fucked. I'm so fucked. It's the first time on the show. And the other thing is my phone was dead.
Oh my
God. My phone was on the plane. Luckily I had my Apple Watch. My Apple Watch was a lifesaver, because the producer of the show is texting me. So as we're getting down closer to landing, I see a text come through. She's like, are you coming from, are you going to be streaming from Orlando or Chicago? I'm like, 100% Orlando. I told you I'm flying in for CrimeCon. So she's like, okay, cool. I don't have her panicked. I'm panicking completely. I'm running through the airport so I can get my, not because I know I'm not going to beat my bag down there. The bags are going to take forever, but I got to get my shit plugged in. I get my phone plugged in so I can get an Uber, wait for the bag. So dude, I made it, had to get changed. The whole thing. It was I made it with 10 seconds to spare before they call me, because they run theirs through Skype. So they'll connect through Skype, and then they'll call me on the phone, and I have an earpiece in. So it was very stressful, man. Coming in for that thing, I was real excited, and that was a rough way to start. But
and you made it happen,
it paid off. You know what I mean? It was a great interview with Vinny. So
dude, he's awesome, man. Like I said, I think I said that to you guys privately. I love him, because it feels like an actual conversation. He's breaking in. He's giving his actual, what feels like opinions. Right. And dude, a lot of these news front desk people don't have that vibe, man. And I
know, man.
Dude, he's great.
Yeah, you get that back and forth with him a lot, he liked me. I was on him again last night. I was hoping to talk Delphi. It was actually, that's what was so upsetting about our stream, is I literally had been on right before. I was getting off of Court TV with Vinny, and I gave myself 20 minutes from when that ended to when the stream was going to start, just to get my shit straight. And that stream was fine. I watched it, or Allie watched it, and she's like, oh, it was all good. So I didn't understand what the hell was going on with that thing, but it was disappointing, man. But you know, like you said, people stuck around. I'm grateful for that. And like I said, it can only go up from there, bro.
100%, man, 100%. That was awesome. I had a good time watching it, honestly. I mean, I was kind of hell. I think me and Jay are probably your only two mods right now. We are just kind of paying attention and seeing if anything broke out. But not everyone was mostly chill as well, which was impressive to have a room that full. But yeah, man, it's only going to get better. You know, I think the next one is going to be, as I say, dank as hell.
Yeah, anytime man. Steve makes a dank prediction, I love it. That's all I'm gonna say.
We're gonna make that sumbitch come through.
You know this. So what do you want to dig into, man?
Yeah, man, I've got a lot of different notes here. Let's see. Okay, one thing I was reading about today that I thought was interesting. I was reading about the this is coming from, what's the lady's name? Betsy Blair. One of the people that was talking about the car, about the 2:15 p.m. part time frame when she's coming by, and she's saying that she's seeing a 1965 Ford Comet part.
Yeah.
Right?
Looks quite a bit different than a 2016 Ford Focus, right. Doesn't it?
Black Ford Focus. So, I mean, I was reading that, and I'm just like, again, let me pull this over here because I've actually got the
diametric opposite, Steve. Like an old muscle car, and then like a little smart car, like little turdy Ford Focus thing, man. Very different looking vehicles.
Yeah, and I mean, this goes back to, again, them blatantly lying to get the search warrant, right?
Yeah, I mean, sure seems that way.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. And this is from the memorandum here. So, like, when this actually broke and you were going through this, did you? Because what'd you say? It came at like 2:30 in the morning.
Yeah, so I got it the minute I opened my eyes. People were in my DMs. They're like, "Have you seen this shit?"
7 in the morning, 8 in the morning.
So yeah, I had.
Because I mean, you're on Jay's at 2. Like,
it was 2:08 a.m. They filed it, and then Allie. So I had somebody like get it over to me early, and she's reading through it, and then she calls the clerk down at Carroll County and says, because she communicates with them, she's like, "Can you email us everything that was filed?" Because there was another filing that's gotten no traction whatsoever, and that's the filing to get him moved out of the prison. Like, so they're going at that again for a second time. They filed that once already to have him moved out of Westville.
That's when you went there in person.
Yeah, in light of this, they filed it again. So that was filed simultaneous to this. So there was 2 filings, plus the exhibit list. So yeah, I got it all. And the first thing I did, so I'm like showering, and Allison's like standing outside the shower, like scream reading me like the fucking pleading, and I'm like, "Oh my god, oh my god!" And she's like, like all the shit she's reading. I'm like, "Holy shit!" So the first thing I do is I get out of the shower, like dry off. I'm like, dude, I'm doing a Twitter Spaces on this thing. Because I'm half hearing Allison. It sounds insane. I'm hearing about Vikings, and I'm thinking about Steve and Dan out there murdering people. I'm like, holy shit, Valhalla.
Hey, out here in West Virginia, I was saying this on Twitter earlier too. West Virginia is more like this area in Indiana than not. Because dude, everybody's trying to make the point of the guns and the knives. Dude, that's not fucking weird in this area at all. Like,
that is like, it would be weird for people not to have guns and knives in rural Indiana.
Absolutely.
Everyone is hunters. Everyone are gun owners. Like, everyone. That is what you do in Indiana. You hunt, you fish.
Dude, I'm not a hunter. I could literally turn around in the room I'm in right now and pull out numerous weapons. Exactly. Like, it's just the way and they're not even mine. They're my uncles. You know what I mean? Like, it's just the way life is in this type of, area, quite frankly. But yeah, I'll see everybody just freaking out. The guns. There's so many guns.
Dude, they're practicing like this rituals and like this, like a rural area. I'm like, yes, it's exactly where they do it. You want big open forests. You don't want people around. You want nature. You're not doing this shit in the middle of Chicago, bro. You're doing this thing. You're doing it where you want nature. You want trees, especially for this. Like, all of that I rejected, and it becomes like a thing where there's 2 different things that you look about with this filing. All right. There's the Odinism side of it, right? So like that kind of just crazy portion of it that just gets your mind racing. But there's also law in there. you know, and it's a combination of both things. And, you know, like my feeling as a defense attorney is that I feel that I think that they may have hurt themselves, the defense, a little bit in terms of the strength of that Frank's hearing motion by burying it in
100 pages.
this thing where it's going to piss the judge off because of what they disclose, and they filed it unsealed. You know, it's like, I'm concerned that because they did that, that Gull may deny the motion if she's like on the fence. I was saying that on her stream last night, which people probably couldn't hear because it was choppy, but you know, I mean, you have to know, like, the judge is going to be irritated by that filing, and not so much of the length or that, you know, the fact that they brought up that they think that it's ritualistic, but just the level of detail that they went into on that, I think is going to irritate the judge to the point where we've got a very valid Frank's motion hearing that's buried in there, where they've come with receipts, man, you know, and I worry that, you know, because of the way, and I went through it on our stream last night, but the way a Frank's hearing works, Steve, is that you've got, you know, you're saying, look, this guy lied. We've got the receipts here. I'm going to put the report from the police that took her statement. This is what they wrote. This is what they're saying she said. Okay. And now here I'm going to put what Tony Liggett said in front of the judge in order to get the warrant. And this is different than this. He lied. Right. You know, it's reckless. It's with knowledge, you know, and like Allison always likes to make the point that it's not just the lies, but it's the omissions of things that they knew, like not including any of that stuff that they knew in terms of initially going in, and whether or not they actually went to Purdue, we'll never know unless this professor shows up.
Right.
But, you know, I mean, they thought enough of it to make a police report stating that they went to Purdue and stating that whoever this person was that they spoke to poo-pooed it as
that
being
it wasn't
ritualistic.
Yeah.
You know, so
which is insane. Like
it's insane, man.
Dude,
it's insane.
Yeah, maybe I
but you know, I mean, ultimately, if they pull all those lies out, Steve, she can still find that there's enough probable cause that the thing, you know, it survives it. So that's where I'm talking about. If she's super irritated and she's on the fence, it's within her discretion, you know, to say, yeah, well, okay, I'm going to pull out the lies that Liggett made. I'm going to pull out the two witnesses' statements that he completely, you know, corrupted and changed in terms of what they said and what they observed. And I'm going to look at it, and I'm afraid that she's going to say, well, I still think there's enough probable cause, so I'm denying the motion to suppress, which is, you know, exactly what could happen. And we'll see. You know, I mean, I hope Judge Gull is of the mindset that she only cares about following the law because it's her job.
Yeah.
And she doesn't get wrapped up in, you know, being upset. I mean, I've had no indication that she's nothing but an excellent judge from anything that she. I mean, I disagreed with her for not moving him the first time.
Yeah.
You know, and now that they've fleshed out what was going on with those guards, which I'm sure we're going to get to tonight.
That's something I definitely want to talk about.
Yeah. So, yeah, man. Yeah. What else you got? Dude, I'm not hijacking this whole thing.
No. You're good, brother. But we'll go right into the Odinism with the patches and the. So there's a question. I have a question. So say you're representing Alan, all right, and you're seeing kind of what they're saying in these memos. It sounds to me like they know that these dudes have cameras, that they're pointing a camera at them, right? I mean, if you were actually in that position, you're seeing this, or I guess my question is, are you going to say something right then and there? Or are you going to go back and try to get a strategy to try to figure out what to do? Because once you let that out, they're going to know, and then they're possibly going to make his life even worse.
Well, I was at the hearing in June when this came up. Like, this is not the first I've heard of it. Like, the first time that I heard about the camera and them recording him was at that hearing in June where they were. So, you know, I drive to Delphi. It's about 2.5 hour drive from me.
I remember
so
that.
I went down there, and, you know, I get up at the crack. I go stand in line at the courthouse so that I make sure that I get in, because I'm like, I'm watching this fucking thing, dude. I'm like, y'all need me in that courtroom, so you know you're getting just facts when I come out, because you can't live tweet in there. The judge is like, they're crazy about it.
Yeah.
Like if they even see your phone, they'll take it and smash it with a hammer.
It's over.
So it's like, yeah, they're crazy about it. Like I have to go hide in the bathroom to go like sneak a tweet out. Now they know. Now they know if they're watching.
They're gonna be watching you now. He's leaving. He's going to the bathroom.
There he is. Get him. So like at that hearing, which was supposed to be an entirely different hearing at that time, right? It was supposed to be something else. It wasn't supposed to be this hearing to get him moved out of a penitentiary. And just so people understand, pretrial detainees, meaning people that have not gone to trial yet, do not sit in prison and await trial. They typically sit in the county jail.
That's
now,
right. That's fucking weird.
That is correct. That is correct. So he is sitting in the worst of the worst in Indiana, the Westville Penitentiary. And, you know, so the defense had filed this pleading saying, look, he was being treated like a prisoner of war, you know, that he was sleeping on the concrete floor. They weren't feeding him. They were making him wear the same filthy clothes. He wasn't allowed to take showers. They weren't allowing him to contact anybody. And that every time that they were coming to have attorney-client meetings, which are supposed to be in private, without ears listening from the state,
these motherfuckers are lurking.
That somebody was standing there with a camcorder. So now at that time in June, they didn't bring any of this shit up. They brought up the fact that what they were doing, because they didn't know. They just thought it was a couple of guards just standing there taping the guy, you know. But and like if Alice and I are going to talk to our client and we're sitting there and there's like when we used to go talk to Garcia, they'd put us in a little enclosed room. Like they'd take him from his cell, they'd bring him, they'd sit him, he's all shackled, feet and legs. They'd sit him down, and then we'd have to say, hey, we're going to need you to close that door and take a few steps away. Well, we can't have you listening to what we're saying. I mean, we're trying to prepare for trial. I'm going to assume that you would leak shit to the state. You can't hear what we're saying to our client. It's privileged communication. Go away.
Yeah.
You know, so when Rosie, he pronounces it Rosie, but it should be Rosie. But but when Rosie's down there, and he's with his client and he sees these guys with this camcorder like standing on the other side of the window, he's not going to say anything of substance to his client, and vice versa. He's going to say, Richard, I'm sorry, but we're not in a position where we can talk about the case at all right now because they're filming it. So at that point, we don't know anything about the, like, Odinism wasn't even like thought of at that point. And we know not, like, when this memo comes out, we know now why that happened, because he didn't know yet. He didn't get this discovery. He didn't get the 85 Odin report, you know, until like September.
It was like September 8th or something.
Yeah, dude. It's like
insane.
so then it starts to make, he's like, I can only imagine what he's like when he's going through this shit. And then he's like, oh my God. He's like, look, so they, you know, and then he probably, because he had probably noticed the patches on these two guards who were like constantly shadowing Alan, like during the visits, and probably didn't think much of it.
See, I think that's crazy. Like, not thinking.
Yeah, that's crazy, dude. Like, you don't see people putting their own patches on government uniforms ever.
Like, if I'm getting pulled over and I'm seeing the cop with a weird cult whatever type symbol, I'm immediately going to be like, what the fuck? Like,
right.
I don't know if I'm talking to anybody, because I'll probably instantly start having the conspiracy brain of everyone's out to get me. But
exactly, man. So that
shit's scary, though.
You know, that's sticking in the back of his mind, right? Like, during these visits, he's thinking of these two guards. And then when he opens this report and is like, Odin, why is that ringing a bell? And then it dawns on him. He's like, holy shit. He's like, and he's going to the little guy that he was bringing, who I think is in, like, he's in college, but he, like, the kid that he kept bringing, who testified at that hearing in June. He's like, hey, get in here. Do you remember those patches those guards had on them? And that kid was like, I bet he was like, yeah. Yeah, I remember him. It was like bizarre. It said, "In Odin we trust." In Odin we, you know what I mean? He makes this connection, and he's like, his mind is exploding.
Yeah.
He's like, "Oh my god, it's all coming together."
Dude.
You know, so like that's how that shit kind of happens when you get discovery, and they're peppering the massive amounts of discovery, putting these reports all over the place, you know, because there's no rhyme or reason. Like,
and there's so much. They're looking back to the very beginning, which in the very beginning is the only time they were even kind of talking about occultist type stuff or Odinism type stuff. That disappears, and they just 5 years later you have a new guy, and now they're all trying to dig through this shit, and now they're like, wait,
dude,
that's fucking crazy. I mean,
they had to. They're like, and that's what I'm saying. Like you cannot not read every page of discovery that comes in, and you have to understand that the state's turning everything over in terms of the entire. Like in terms of all the reports that were generated over a period of time, you know, and here we're talking about 5 years. So
it's a long time.
Like same with Garcia was the exact same shit. We had a 5-year period. We got 15 binders with, you know, at least 1,000 pages per binder for the first investigation. Then we got an additional 5 No, get out. Oh, Scout's coming in.
We got a co-host, baby.
Hey, listen, man. You know you're dealing with a family man. So she always gets to come in. Like I don't let her on. Like she gets real upset. I'm like, you can't come on when I'm on court TV.
No, you got to let her on court TV.
I'm like, but Uncle Steve's sweet, so he's good with it.
Now you can come on Publicly Buzzed anytime.
Yeah. So yeah, like, but that kind of thing is like you have to look through every single document, you know, because you just don't know. And like. In a case like this, you know how many tips come into the tip line? Like 99% of which are complete garbage.
Yeah.
But you have to look through all of them in case there's that one that is legit. So they're pouring through thousands and thousands of documents, thousands and thousands of like audio and video hours, listening, watching, and you're just waiting to try to pick some stuff up. So as they're starting to, you know, they probably get the report from the Elvis kid, and they're like, "Oh,
dude,
this is like, wait, this."
He said what?
Claims that he was there,
dude.
Wait, this kid claims that he spit on one of the girls. I mean, you know, and it's like they're reading this stuff.
I mean, multiple of these dudes have literally confessed to the murders.
That's crazy.
I wanted to pull this out real quick. Shelly Tarbert coming through with $10 and asking, how far is the prison versus local? How far is the prison versus local jail for his lawyers to have to travel for him to speak?
So what was the question? I'm sorry.
How far is the prison versus local jail for his lawyers to have to travel?
Long drive for them. Long drive, a couple hours,
oh, shit.
Maybe longer. It was a great distance. That was one of the things that they were talking about. They're like, look. You can't put him in the Carroll County jail because it's too small, you know. And they were saying that they were like literally concerned with his safety. All right, that was their rationale, you know, in them putting him in the prison. That they felt like they didn't have the resources and the manpower to not only protect him in the jail, but to transport him to and from jail because they're worried about like you know, like what's his face? Who was the guy who shot Kennedy? I'm having a brain fart. You know, the Jack Ruby shot, whatever, the single gunman dude.
Lee Harvey Oswald.
Thank you. So, like, you know, Oswald gets shot while he's getting transported by Jack Ruby. They're worried about a situation like that, you know, because it's like
those people are crazy.
It's a high impassioned case. People like are all over it. This is it.
100%.
So, you know, so yeah, it's a great distance. It's like for, you know, when you're talking about round trip, it's like 4.5 hours. It's a long way. It's a lot, you know, and it's going to be, you're not going to visit your client with the frequency that you otherwise might if he's right down the street, you know? So,
and then
yeah.
And then once you get there, you're having a situation where you can't even correspond with them properly.
Totally.
That's messed up. And then they also, they want the defense wants cameras in this thing. State does not, but they want as much. It sounds like to me the defense wants as much transparency as humanly possible to get as many eyes on what's happening here to the potential insane conspiracy that's happening right now out in Delphi. I don't know, man.
Hey, Steve.
Yeah.
Where are all the comments?
No.
They're all hanging out down here. Let me see if I can get one up here for you.
I can't see any.
Pop you one up
she
here
likes
real
to
quick.
see her name in print. And
Somebody put. There we go. Here we go. Cute earrings. Huh?
Oh yeah.
Uh-oh. That's for Mandy.
Mandy likes your earrings. Aw.
Twisting scalp. There we go. She's a wordsmith also.
She came up with a little thing for you.
She is a wordsmith.
She is indeed. She is indeed.
There we go. They're coming through. They know. There we go. I failed them.
Oh, look at all that. Oh, look at
I'm
that.
11.
No, they think you're 10. Sorry. That's what you get. That's what you get. All right, you got to go, though.
She's at the age now where she wants to keep advancing in age.
Say goodbye to everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, fans of me, she says.
Dude, she's going to be hosting Defense Diaries next week.
About to kick me to the curb. I mean, either her or Allison. One of the two is happening.
That's awesome,
I'm getting
man.
supplanted by one of them or both of them. Maybe they'll start their own show. So yeah, that jail situation is crazy, dude. And when we kind of look at the way, I loved that filing. I did, and it's like, and I understand and respect the counter to it, because they did take advantage of a situation to get their entire case narrative out there to the public, which, look, if we're talking about all things being even, that's what PCAs are. Probable cause affidavits is the state throwing their theory of the case out to the public way before trial. And typically that's all that sits out there for years while trials pending, so that's what everyone in this chat, everyone out in the public, everyone out on socials that thinks that Richard Allen is the guy is basing that on one and one thing only. And it's that PCA, because that's all there is. You know what I'm saying? So that getting your narrative out there is extremely powerful
100%.
Because people are like, people are like, oh, they're like getting upset that we're suggesting that it couldn't, maybe it's not Richard Allen. Well, remember, that's just their theory. That's all that is. That's not fact. Now we're finding that out. So from the sense that the defense has been able to get their narrative out there, the state's taking great exception to it. They've poo-pooed it. I forget, they called it colorful, something else, and unprofessional. And within that same sentence, pull that up, Steve. I want to pull that up. Pull up the state's response, because the most important thing in the entire response is in paragraph 7 of it. Is that the state's response?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let me see.
Paragraph
from
7.
September 25th. Yeah.
Okay, so go to paragraph 7. There's no way I can read that. I'm blind.
I got you. Yeah, I'm going to jump down here real quick to 7. Here we go. And I'll blow it up. So you want me to read that to you here? 40. The state believes that
paragraph 7, not 40, man.
Oh, number 7. Oh, I went to page 7. My bad.
No, I'm sorry, dude. No, literally paragraph 7. It's the most telling. It's the most telling thing. There we go. Is.
Once again, while the memo is colorful, dramatic, and highly unprofessional, it is not completely true.
It's not completely true. Steve, what does that mean to you when somebody says, well, it's not completely true?
It means some parts of it are true.
It means that some parts of it are true.
That's a good point.
What it means. So,
that is a good point.
People out there are saying, oh, this is bullshit. It's just the defense. The state acknowledges in their own pleading, because they're not going to, look, all lawyers have ethical duty. Okay, we can't just go around making up lies. They're not going to be able to go, and everything in the law is subject to interpretation. I was saying it on our thing last night, man. It's like everything is interpreted. You have two different sides interpreting the same data in different ways.
Exactly.
Or a statute or evidence. We're interpreting it one way, the state's interpreting it another way. And that is what makes up lawyering. That is literally what we are doing as lawyers. We are interpreting statutes, laws, evidence, and facts. And we're coming up with our theories. And again, I say it all the time, dude. I wasn't there when it happened. But you know who else wasn't there? Guess, Steve.
The prosecutor, the
That's
state,
right.
any of these
That's
motherfuckers.
correct.
None of us.
Well, I found that to be very compelling.
That is interesting wording, dude. Not
It is very
completely
interesting wording.
true. Yeah. It's the wildest thing I've seen in a while, dude. I thought that we were coming off the wild shit with Idaho 4 and all that stuff, but this has like flipped that on its
next
head.
level, bro.
It
This
has.
is next level.
It's insane.
Man, and it's like it's a case that I'm so passionate about. You know, like I've been following this case forever because it's so close to home. And you know,
you had mentioned it on on previous streams. You had mentioned it on here before, and I'd never ever sunk my teeth really into it until it started getting wild here, and now I'm fully in.
Well, same with Jaybird, man. I'm like, Jay, like one of my early streams, you know, I was asking Jay, I'm like, oh man, there's a lot of big cases out there. You know, I know we're all kind of obsessed with Idaho 4, but like, let's not forget about Delphi. And I'm like, do you know anything about the Delphi case? He's like, no.
Yeah.
You know, because it had been 5 years. You know, like it's like, fortunately, you know, it's gone but not forgotten. You know, because all we care about really, and at the end of the day, I said it last night, and I'll say it in perpetuity forever. All we care about is getting justice for those two girls and their families, and what that means is we got to get the right guy. So, you know, and this is like kind of the shit that I'm always saying, that you can't trust fully a PCA, just like you can't trust this thing fully.
Yeah, you shouldn't be married to any of this. None of us should, bro. Like, we should all be looking at it objectively, dude. Like,
exactly. That's why we have trials. This is exactly why we have trials. Just like, so like anybody who's like, I think Richard Allen is the guy, I don't give a shit what anybody says, this defense filing is bullshit. Well, you need to be thinking about that PCA that the state put out the same way that you're thinking about this document. I'm sorry, but that's it. Like, I love that this came out because it proves my point that I am trying to pound over like people's heads constantly. You need to wait to trial until this shit's vetted, because what you have are because you just rarely see this. Like, you rarely see the defense getting their entire theory of the case out before trial. It's usually at trial. So now we've evened the playing field, whether people like it or not.
Right.
Not because I'll tell you what, there's a lot of people out there. And before this thing dropped, Steve, I never thought Richard Allen was the right guy. I'm sorry. Like all I care about is getting, like, he does not add up. He does not add up. Not at all. And that PCA was so thin, man. I'm like, no, this is mere presence.
Only thing they have, the unspent shell casing, is garbage after you actually kind of read into that. I mean, that could have went through, dude. It goes back to he had so many guns. His neighbor had probably the same fucking gun, bro. Like,
everyone has guns in Indiana. I'm gonna say it again.
That bullet would have went through anybody's gun. Like,
in Illinois, there's like a waiting period. Like, you have to apply. They do like a mental health, like they do a background check on you, make sure that you're, you know, somebody that should own a weapon. In Indiana, you want to buy a gun, dude, you put on your sweatpants, you put on your Carhartt, you put on your trucker cap, you get the fuck in the truck, and you ride over to Walmart and you buy a gun. That's
in West Virginia, yeah, dude. You go down to the flea market that's running on Saturday. You got a whole table laid out. It's going to be right next to the rebel flags.
I mean, dude.
Nah, dude, that is how it is here. It ain't been that long. It was one of the days during the summer we did go to a flea market locally, and I didn't actually post the pictures, but I was like, I'm right in front of a lot of assault weapons. Like,
dude, I'm just saying.
Not just handguns. Like, right. I mean, anything you fucking wanted. Like,
anything.
Yeah.
So, like, the point being, everyone in that state is armed. 100%. A majority. I think if you were to poll, like maybe next time I'm down in Delphi, I'll just knock on doors randomly. I'll do a live stream.
They'll probably open it with a gun.
Yeah. No, I'm going to ask them if they own a gun, and I'll do a poll. I'll do a random poll just to prove to people how many people. Everybody's gonna be like, yeah, yeah, I own a gun. I don't own a gun. I own many guns. I mean, that's just like, I guarantee you 9 out of 10 own a gun down there, because it's just like it's that part of the country.
Because
it is.
This is gun country.
Gun country, baby. I had that one ready to go.
Yes, it is, Steve.
It is ridiculous, man. But yeah, once I actually, again, that's all they actually have. So when you go back and you look at all the stuff that we've learned in this new defense memorandum, the actual crime scene that they've laid out in really graphic, insane detail, which is pretty wild. But all they have is one fucking casing that was and there's only a picture of that casing in the ground.
Right. No chain of custody.
Like,
that's what they call that, is a chain of custody.
And this is I'm jumping all over the place. It's just kind of hitting my head right now. But then the initial interview wasn't recorded with Richard Allen from 2017.
Exactly. Well, it was like a man on the street thing. Like that's the thing that I'm always trying to explain to people. I'm like, because I ran into, like, when I was right after the arrest, I'm like, okay, this guy came to a resource officer that was stationed outside of a market, like a grocery store. So essentially what they, because, like, look, Delphi's like 2,300 people strong. And when the girls went missing, it was all hands on deck. Like, they got everybody who had any kind of uniform with any kind of authority whatsoever. And they told the public, they said, look, all right, because the search for the girls the night they went missing was very short because it was February and it was dark. It was dark, like, early. You know what I'm saying? So they shut down the search that night, like, basically soon after it got dark.
Yeah, it gets dark about that time, about 5:30. Like,
right, and we're gonna pick it up again in the morning, and they did, and they find the girls in relatively short order. But in the meantime, they had gone out and they made a statement to the public and said, "Look, we need to know everybody that was on the bridge and the trail that day. We just need you to come forward. You're not in any kind of trouble. We're just trying to establish how many people were out there, if anybody saw anything unusual." I mean, it's a normal request for law enforcement to say, hey, come forward. We need to know if you were out there. We need to know when you were out there. We need to know what you saw, what you observed. Totally normal request from law enforcement for a small town like that. And people did, including Richard Allen. He came and he wasn't hiding anything. So the counter argument to that is, okay, well, he was trying to get ahead of the game. He knew that he saw several people, and he was concerned that, they might have recognized him because the guy works at CVS in a super small town where people see him all the time, because he's apparently the guy that gives out, like, pictures. He works in the photo department. So everybody that goes to pick up their pictures, right, he's the guy they see. So, like, everybody in town has seen this guy either at the bars, the VFWs, like wherever you drink and eat in that town, and the place he works. It's like, if you're from a small town and you understand how small towns are, like, I am from a small town. Yeah, it's very difficult to hide in plain sight, dude. Like, people just know who you are, or they know of you. So, like, that's the only counter argument, and I completely reject it. I've heard of situations where killers will go back to the crime scene to observe. Oh, are they figuring shit out to see what's going on? I've heard of them going to the funerals of their victims. I've never heard, and we're not talking about somebody that has been brought in under no suspicion. Yeah, under no suspicion. Right. He just showed up. That's different. People cave in those situations all the time. I'm talking about a guy
feeling the heat, dude. Yeah.
Exactly. I'm talking about a guy who's voluntarily going to somebody who's stationed not in a police station, that is out in front of this market, and says, yeah, I just wanted to let you know I was there. I was at the bridge, and this is when I was there. And he's always been very consistent with his times. And, this is what I was wearing. And that's it. Now, in order to believe that he did that to offset it, you then have to believe that he was so confident that his statement, where he puts himself on the bridge and describes what he was wearing, was going to be so weak that they thought that there's no way that they would ever look at me because I came and made a statement. I got ahead of it, because they'll think there's no way the killer would come and put himself at the crime scene, because that's ridiculous. Yeah. No criminal.
Bob, you don't realize Richard Allen's a fucking mastermind, bro?
I mean, dude, he was doing so. And then he decides to keep all the shit. He keeps the blue Carhartt jacket, keeps the jeans, the boots, the knives and the gun that he used and commit. It's just like, so, because I was reading and I'm
That's
like, man, I've been doing this for a long time, dude, and this doesn't add up. Like, that's what I thought initially. First, I'm like, this is a weak PCA. It basically amounts to mere presence, and mere presence is not enough, meaning they can't just start arresting people for murder because they were around the crime scene. It's not enough to get people. So they always say mere presence is not enough. And there just wasn't anything else at that point. You know, you had a couple witnesses, and then the guy's 5'4". Like, when I laid eyes on him, like in the courtroom, my head almost exploded. I'm like, he's like 4 inches taller than Allison, and Allison is teeny.
And you got this shit. I mean, like,
you know who that looks like? I don't know if it was Sleuthy, but somebody posted a picture of one of these dudes that's named in this thing, and it looks just like that kid. I can't remember if it was the Elvis kid or the Messer kid. One of those two.
wow.
And I can't remember if it was Sleuthy, and she
It probably
found
was.
like whoever it was found a picture on Facebook.
I didn't see that one. Shit.
And it looks just like this kid, because I mean, that's clearly not Richard Allen,
Right.
yeah. I mean,
Curly, poofy hair. I mean, no facial
Yeah.
hair. Younger 20s. They're saying initially, like,
and like, I keep, you know, so the other night when I was on with Joel and on STS, he had like you were there, you saw it. So they had that expert on who clearly had not read the memo.
Right.
Like, I felt bad. Like, I don't like kind of undressing people like on a public forum like that. But by the end of it, because he started like, it's the most ridiculous thing that I've ever heard of, to by the end of that stream, he was like, well, you know, I'm going to have to look into it. And, you know, there could be something, you know, because
yeah,
I'm like,
that's exactly how it went.
it is.
He did change his
like,
tune.
I mean, dude, like, I'm not gonna debate people online on Twitter if you haven't read the memo. If you haven't read the memo and you're just going off a news report or some shit that somebody's saying,
Other tweets,
or you've listened to a podcast, or read the memo. That's the only time I'm going to engage with you about what the thing is about. Because otherwise, you're talking shit and you haven't gotten yourself informed about what's going on. So
there's a lot of that
like
going
on my Twitter, if y'all should follow my defense_diaries Twitter account. It's banging. Like, I come, like, I'm just facts.
I post
man.
that
It's
in
like,
there.
I got no horse in the race. You know what I mean? It's like if Richard Allen is the guy, well, then I hope they got some evidence, because what they have put in front of us right now ain't it. You know what I'm saying? So like, they you know, but if you go into paragraph 6 of the defense's memo, that's interesting, because they just kind of like plop it right in there. And it says basically, in essence, that, look, we've got a situation where they have now taken all of Richard Allen's electronic devices, and you can see it on the property evidence log from the search. They took like 9, 10 phones, all his computers. So yeah, go to paragraph 6 of that thing, of the intro, not page 6, paragraph 6.
Yeah, I think I fucked it up. Hold on. I think I had it.
No, you're good, man. You good, Steve.
There's
good.
3, 4, 5, 6. Most of the evidence backing these assertions was found scattered over no less than 10 hard drives and several flash drives provided by the prosecution, meaning that the defense is not making wild accusations, but rather primarily relaying facts and information that is backed up by the prosecutor's own discovery, and even discovery that the prosecution just provided to the defense.
Oh, I'm sorry, Steve. I didn't perfectly memorize the 136 pages. It's paragraph 5. Read that one for me.
Richard Allen has 0 connections to any pagan cult or pagan cultist, and furthermore, no forensic evidence such as DNA or electric evidence links Richard Allen to the girls or the crime scene. He is a completely innocent man.
So they went through all his electronic, because that's like when
he would
they
be paying or something. I mean, they would have been, yeah, dude. In 2017, this man would have had a cell phone.
They all, like, that's what I'm saying. Like, if you have the property evidence logs, pull them up. They pulled like 7, 8, 9, 10 phones from this guy's house, old Motorola flip phones, everything. He didn't throw away any of his phones. They got all of them because I read in various sites. Oh, he threw the phone out. Well, okay, they still have phone bills, dude. Like they're gonna like it. There is no escaping the paper trail of electronic devices.
Nah, dude.
They will be able to get your data. Will they be able to get text messages? No. Will they be able to geolocate you? Hell yeah. Will they be able to see when you made calls? Hell yeah. And it doesn't matter if you have the device or not. You're going to the carrier and you're getting the phone records for every, like they have everything. Like there is no, like you are, dude, it gets so frustrating for me. Like, you know, people that just kind of may not understand exactly how this kind of thing works with investigations. It's like, man, you know, this like, and that, paragraph 5 to me, that is telling me they have gone through all of his devices and they found nothing connecting him to the girls, meaning there is no, hey, I'm being a super giant creep.
Yeah, he's not talking about the pagan shit. He's not talking about the Odinist shit. But if you go to these other dudes' Facebooks in 2017, around this exact time, they're posting runes. They're posting these runes that are, you know, essentially going to give them wealth. Like
if
all kinds
of
weird.
If you go to Brad Holder's the day after the girls are found, he's posting a picture of the bridge.
Dude, and was it him and Elvis that were mirroring each other's Facebook posts at one point in time?
Elvis was like mirroring his, you know, but like the Holder's got an alibi. You know, his alibi is that he punched in and he punched out. Now, I don't know where Kat works. Sleuthy's probably dug it up at this point. Is she in there?
She did, and I forget now, but
I'm sure she dug up where this dude works. I mean, you could bet your ass that if I'm the defense, I am digging into everything that I find. I am interviewing. I am sending
anybody there,
out to talk to every single witness. I am going to this guy's job. I'm trying to find out if he's got any other Odin buddies in there that might be able to be in a position where they say, yeah, man, I'll clock you in, I'll clock you out. Yeah, I'll say you were here. Yeah, I'll pop your time card in there at the end of the day. It's all good. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I don't know.
How deep does this shit go? I mean, apparently they're leaking into the fucking federal prison. I mean,
dude, I don't know.
That shit's crazy. All right, 1 second here. Holly Berry coming through, gifting out 5 more memberships. Holly, you're insane.
He's amazing.
Welcome to the party, pal.
Fofa, the Canadian cat lady, Kelly Gale, Kyle, and Jamie, brother. Welcome, everybody. Thank y'all so much.
Welcome to the party, pal.
Appreciate it. And Holly, man, you're insane. You're amazing. You're a beautiful soul. Comes through here every single week. And delivers. You're amazing. Thank you so much. Give me the loot. Give me a little biggie there too. Let me look through here. Anybody has any questions? Pop them in the chat now. I'm going to start looking here for a little bit. You got anything to ask Bob? Now is the time to do it. Oh, Ashley coming through with $9.99. Oh shit!
$10 holla.
Do it, baby. Ashley, appreciate you as well. Coming through. #1 fan sticker. Love it. Yeah, beers in the chat, guys. Thank y'all so much.
Look at Stevie.
Crazy. Going, baby. We're doing the damn thing.
Man, look at Stevie. Stevie's the man, dude. Did I say that enough? Like, I love him, man. He's great, man.
I love you, Bob, man. You're the man, dude. Again, I'm going to praise you real quick again just because this channel is completely different because of you. Like, you've made me completely look at true crime and just law in general completely different. If you went back, April? I think we had our first deal in May. If you went back to March, April, this channel is completely different, dude. Like,
I love it, dude.
It's amazing.
I love that we're a home team, man. You know what I mean? I love that. So it's great, dude. And it's like I love that you're getting involved, dude. Like I see you on the Twitters. I see you're a digger.
I'm getting in there, dude. Dude, I'm starting to
diggers, dude.
I'm really at first I was like,
dig, I love that.
It took me a while to get there, but dude, now I'm just hungry for the info.
Damn, this is what I want to see, Steve. Read that to me. Like, this is the thing. I'm like, this is what we can, like, this answers everything.
Okay,
if they can figure out, there has to be a formula to figure out how tall that guy is. And if that guy ain't 5'4", they need to let Richard Allen out of prison right now, because Richard Allen is like a little Laputian.
Now, this guy he basically came, and I think, well, I'll read through it, but he basically came to the assertion that the guy would have been like 5'6". Okay, let's go here. Okay, it's not a widely known fact that the length of a human's, was it tibula?
Tibula, yeah.
As expressed as I think you left a letter out there, but as expressed as a fraction of body height.
Was it tibia?
Tibia.
Tibia. Yeah,
okay. Yeah. Tibia is expressed as a fraction of body height will be a higher number in taller people and a lower number in shorter people. In short, pun intended, taller people have longer shin bones, obviously in general, but also in relation to what percent of their overall height the length of the shins make up. And the reverse is also true of short people and their tibia as a fraction of their overall height. To illustrate this tendency, here is a study on the relationship between tibia length and its relationship with height. Such ratios are, of course, useful in murder investigations. If, for example, a scene were to present just a lower leg of a missing victim, you'd be able to get an accurate estimate of the height, so as it does apply to Delphi. Well, let's see. I used the picture of Abby on the bridge, measured her shin and her height 5 times each, averaged them out, and got a number and expressed tibia over height. Let's see what this is. Can I make that bigger? Okay. The number was 0.205. Let's then look at the study cited while noting Abby was of a different race to the subject study and also still growing. God love her. There are notably differences in bone thickness between races, but with limb length we are talking about biomechanics, and the length ratios should not vary greatly, as it's all about efficiency. Abby was not yet an adult, but the proportions evident would still roundly apply. Note, females tend to hit adult height as early as 14 or 15 in any case. It's not perfect, as the subjects of study were adults and Abby's bones were still growing. Plus, I only have the one photo to work with, one leg to measure, and needed to account for posture, perspective, and approximate top of the cranium. So, I mean, they're taking a lot into account.
Yeah.
Okay, here's the actual measurements they've come up with here. Okay. 26 centimeters between the tallest female and the smallest. The shortest had a ratio of 0.184. The tallest is 0.23. Mean of 0.211. Abby 0.205 puts her in the 45th percentile, giving her 11.86 centimeters of the 26 centimeter available over the 153 centimeter minimum. 164.86 centimeter or 5'4", 64.9 inches, or 5'4'9", almost 5'5".
So she's within the same height as Richard Allen.
Yeah, that's what they're okay. Yeah, she's gaining an inch in the estimate up from her 5'4", likely because of me measuring her. Likely because of me giving her the benefit of the doubt of her posture and measuring from the bun on her head rather from the top of her skull. Let's go to Bridge Guy now and see how he works out. First of all, where I had one frame of Abby, I had 48 of BG to work with. So I measured each shin where I could clearly make out the correct point left and right, and had all those frames to measure his proportional height. I averaged each measurement out to come up with a figure that is undoubtedly closer to the truth than I could without Abby in one frame. The number I got is 0.21. As Bridge Guy is a male, we use the figures in the male chart below. As the Bridge Guy is an adult, we don't have to worry about discrepancies due to him not having finished growing. Everything points to the calculation being more accurate than Abby's. Furthermore, did you ever notice some of the earlier images seemed to squash BG vertically? Some later ones stretched him even too much to compensate. As these calculations are based off a ratio of two measurements taken in the same frame, it's actually a very neat way to get around the problem, as both measurements would be distorted, but the ratios remain constant. I think that's probably some more of the numbers. 27 centimeters between the shortest and tallest man. The shortest had a ratio of 0.82, the tallest of 0.247, mean of 0.22. Bridge Guy's 0.21 puts him at the 43rd percentile, giving him 11.63 of the 27 available over the 155 centimeters minimum. So 166 or 5'4" or 65 inches. Conclusion: bridge guy is 5'6". That's what they came up with there, and I've gone slightly mad. That's insane. First of all,
Yeah, I don't even understand it. That's why I went to law school. I don't do math.
dude, I'm a terrible math person.
So,
but they came up with a pretty close estimate of what Richard is.
I mean, but they know when was this posted? 2 years ago?
2 years ago. This is before his arrest.
So that's that dropped before Alan was arrested. You know what I'm saying?
That is interesting. Yeah.
It's like they're not like, we can't make that argument that, okay, well, you know, they're trying to make it fit to Alan because it predated him. So, you know, in 2 inches.
That's a good point.
You know what I'm saying? So I don't know what that guy's background is, but he certainly is a lot smarter in math than I am. Like, I'm not coming up with it, you know, but like, there's got to be like either that formula or the feds have to have some kind of software to where they can actually like really be able to figure out somebody's height based on an image using, I mean, can't AI do it, Steve-O?
I would think at this point in time, I would think that AI could do it.
Something you just put in like the AI machine and it'll pop out like, bing, little receipt. Oh, the subject matter is 5'5". You know, I mean,
that is the future.
That is totally the future.
We're going to bring Dan on here right now. Yeah, right here, Allie. Well, according to that, bridge guy is pretty short.
Yeah.
That is interesting because, again, Richard Allen hadn't already been caught. This guy wasn't just going off of an assumption, or it wasn't already in his head. He was going off nothing. That's pretty interesting.
Right. And,
that is cool. Dan
the other argument is that, because there's three possibilities, right? There's the possibility that Richard Allen acted alone. There's the possibility that Richard Allen is bridge guy, but he didn't have anything to do with the girls' killings. Or there's the possibility that Richard Allen is bridge guy and he brought the girls down to a group of waiting people.
There's a lot of
like those are basically the three possibilities as to Richard Allen.
Like, that could be Richard Allen and also not be the murderer.
That's what I'm saying.
I mean,
that was
people don't even want to
2.
talk about that. Yeah, dude.
That's what I said. Like, he could be bridge guy, and bridge guy didn't have a goddamn thing to do with the murders.
Yeah, dude.
You know, because it's like law enforcement is the one that's like, and for whatever reason, I've never seen, and like people get really upset when I just make this inquiry, but I've never seen the full video and audio together. It's always like the sound and this video. I just want to see the full video as it was shot with the sound. Like, that's what I want to see. Like, my friend Barbara McDonald, who did the Down the Hill podcast, like, she's heard the audio, you know, and like, she is of the mindset that what they put in the probable cause affidavit that were, they hear Libby, they claim that they hear Libby say gun. Okay, on the audio.
I've heard that.
Right. So, and Barbara said that she's listened to the audio many times.
Can't make that out.
She's not hearing the word gun. You know, because like when they put that in there, it made sense to me if it was a single killer, because it would be very difficult to control 2 teenage girls or young, 12, 13-year-old, like, without having a gun. Like, because my kids would be like, fuck you, creep, and like bolt. They're not standing around letting some pudgy 5'4" guy tell them where they're going unless he has a gun trained on him. And then like, that's what I thought was most interesting. And like, I could see why people were very upset about why Richard Allen couldn't have been the guy, why it's impossible. What is Allie saying? That's what I'm saying. But the defense is not focused on the audio and the video as being an issue or misleading. Right. But maybe that's because they know it's in their favor. You know what I'm saying? I mean, typically, they're not going to, Richard Allen could say, yeah, that's me, but I didn't kill the girls.
Right.
I'm saying? It's like, yeah, I mean, maybe they got a picture of me, like, but they know when the picture was taken.
Yeah, they got
They've
the time
always,
frame.
like, it's always been that thing where he's the guy, the bridge guy's the guy, you know? So it's like, and we've always just been left to wonder if it's true. You know, people kind of accept it as fact, but I mean, certainly it hasn't been vetted at trial. You know, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, the one thing that we know for a fact is that Richard Allen was out there.
Yeah,
You know, I mean,
he admits
by his,
that.
right, by his own statement, he says, I was out there. You know, he hasn't hidden from it. So I don't know. Just typically when somebody gets arrested, like in a case like this, people just come out of the woodwork about what a creep he is, that he did weird shit, he said weird shit. And I just, you know, short of one person that worked with him at Walmart saying, like, and it was like some teenage girl who think that all old people are creepy. Like any old dude, like they would think I was a super creep if I like worked with them. Be like, oh, you know, he always talked to me. I think he was like way too.
Did you look my direction?
Yeah, like dude, he just had this gray beard and like these, like he's just a creep. I didn't know why
It's
he was
the gray that did it for me.
Yeah, he's old and creepy. Why is that guy you know, I mean, that's just how, like, I've got a 17-year-old. Like any dude that's like middle-aged talking to her, whether it's at work or anything, like she'd be like, yeah, I thought he was a little creepy.
Yeah.
You know, like I don't know why he talked to me. Like I'm clearly like, you know, and I mean, we've made that bed for ourselves as men by doing the shit that we've done against women our entire lives. And they're, you know, I mean, catcalling them, treating like all that shit. I don't blame women for feeling like that at all. Like if I was a woman, I'd be like, I'd have to be on high alert at all times because men are savages, man. They're pigs.
Are, man. I mean,
they really are.
There's
dude.
a lot of.
I get it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I got 3 daughters, man. You know, I teach my daughters to break face first, ask questions later.
That's the way to do it.
Like, that is the way to do it.
Yeah, when you're a younger man, yeah, or even a young boy, yeah, they're usually one thing on the mind. If I had some daughters, I'd be like, listen, you're going to have to tell these dudes to fuck right off. Man, yeah, Bob, dude, you're the man, dude.
I love you, Steve.
Unbelievable. Like, you coming through here, hanging out on Publicly Buzzed. Unbelievable, man. I can't believe it every time you come out. And we got a house in here tonight, baby.
Do we have some peeps?
We got some peeps hanging all night. Everyone...
Thursday night shit. Wait, what is this? Let's see. Somebody said it was one of the last comments, yo. It said, my King of Kings at Joanne Yoda Girl 13. I wonder, does Bob even know this? What? No, what? I don't know what the corresponding, I don't know what the comment was, but I'd like to know. Bob, why didn't they mention the bullet as evidence in Ron Logan's PCA? It's a good question, my King of Kings. I don't know. I don't know why they didn't. You know, I mean, it clearly existed, right? I mean, it was there. I'm sure Ron Logan owned a 40 caliber weapon. Everybody does. It's like
that's not weird at all to me, dude. That's
super common caliber weapon. It's like, you know, I don't know. It's a good question, man. And it was on his land. Like I'm going down there for the next time there's a hearing, and I'm going down with my private investigator, Kurt, and we're gonna be taking a little field trip. I'll definitely be doing. I'm gonna get a stabilizer this time, though, but I'm gonna definitely be doing a live YouTube from down in that area, and we're gonna walk the bridge, which is different now. They've completely.
Oh, dude.
Completely grabbed it. It's completely different. If you guys were guilty, would you go? No way. That's what I said. King of Kings, you just jump in, went through like a 10-minute diatribe. How no one would ever do that unless you're psychotic. Like no one would ever do that.
Yeah, he's not. He's like, I'm going to get down there. I'm going to get ahead of this right fucking now. Here we go. MJ, hey, Bob, I just joined your Facebook group discussing Avery's case files. You and your wife are amazing.
Oh, thanks, MJ.
Yeah, let me
really
also
appreciate that.
Post
Thank
his,
you so much.
I got his Twitter, I got his YouTube in there. Let me also post the website. Bada bing,
Yeah,
bada
man.
boom.
Listen, if y'all like,
Boom.
podcasts are not that hard. Do you understand? You just go on your phone. They have all kinds of little apps. that you can listen to podcasts on. And when you're driving or walking your dog or trying to fall asleep, I've been told that I have an excellent voice to fall asleep to, that it's very soothing. It's almost like white noise.
Your voice is perfect for a podcast, dude. It's crazy. Like, it's freaking crazy.
Yeah, so I appreciate that, man. So yeah, I've got some exciting shit happening with the pod too. So I'm super excited about all the good shit we got going on, bro.
We got a lot of stuff creeping up. Are we going to be able to get Allie and Bob on Publicly Buzzed together?
I mean, you're going to be able to get Allie solo anytime you want.
Oh, shit. Okay, awesome. Cool.
Dude,
hell
Allie
yeah, nice.
They jump on, dude.
Hell yeah, cool.
And like
sit here in the chat here hanging out.
The women will love my wife because she is a badass. Dude.
Hell yeah.
So.
No, she's always fun to listen to, dude. Like, every time I've seen her hanging out on, and listen to her on your podcast, but hanging out on the shows with you, Jay and Shannon. And then, brilliant, last night. I loved her last night, dude. Dude, she's going to be needed because, again, she's going to be reining you in a little bit. She's like, all right, what?
Yeah. She has no tolerance for my just, like, constant talking.
You're like, I've heard this for so many years.
And I respect it. How could I not respect it? I'm like, I wouldn't want to hear me talk all the time either. I'd be like, dude, shut the fuck up. She's my girl, man. She's the best. She's the best.
You guys have the best personalities, man. I think that's why this is working, right?
You're the best. Missy Mayhem is amazing too. Like,
dude, she is. She's amazing, dude. All our mods, Mandy, fucking Austin Reigns,
all like our whole community is the best.
It's crazy. Like these people coming through here, they're freaking hilarious, man. They keep our days rolling.
They're absolutely the best. Like I wouldn't trade our people in for anybody. They're smart. They're funny. They're kind. They're super generous. I mean, although they got the whole package. Like all of our people are.
And to find
like, dude, and I never, like in all of our streams, like in your stream and chat, like no one is ever shitty. Like that is so rare.
That's
dude,
so
it's like,
rare.
You go on to shit and it's just toxic hell with people just like slitting each other's throats, and it's like, oh man,
dude,
like, who wants to deal with that shit? Like
somehow,
not like that,
dude, it's the vibe that has brought the tribe, right? Like I think that people realize that we're chill as fuck, dude. We're not out here trying to be shitty. We're not out here trying to like get over on people. We're decent humans just trying to cover the news, the cases. I mean, we're diving into this shit,
just
man.
Facts, Steve.
Driving them in, just facts. And we're bringing them in, baby. Like, you guys seriously are amazing.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, man, we had a nice crowd tonight, bro.
We did. This was killer, man. I appreciate the hell out of it. Tomorrow night, Feral Friday. It's gonna be a rare one. Me and Dan by ourselves.
Dang,
dude, we haven't had one by ourselves in a couple months. I feel like.
What are y'all gonna get into?
I don't know.
Let me think what I'd like. Let me think. I'm gonna try to come up with a good subject matter for you right now. Like Feral. You know, that's a free for all, dude. You can go anywhere with Feral Fridays.
We go all over the place.
Let me think. What's something good? I think. Let's see. What is tomorrow? 28th, 29th?
29th.
Oh man, I think you should all dive into what is the best / Halloween scary movie of all time.
There we go.
Not Halloween the franchise, but what is the greatest movies. like but not just horror, but kind of like a Halloween geared type horror movie. Because look, if you're in true crime, there's no question. If you love true crime, there's no question Halloween's your favorite. Like it's my favorite.
It's my favorite.
It's everyone. Like if you love true crime, I would bet $1 billion. Well, that's a lot. I'll bet $1 million that your favorite holiday is Halloween. It's like everyone in true crime loves Halloween because it's kind of our vibe, you know. So it's definitely mine.
Yeah, you know what? And it is almost Halloween, and we might do a Halloween theme.
I'm saying, dude, we're like right at the first October. It's appropriate.
We're right there. Oh yeah, bringing in October. You're right. I think you're right. I think
that's what I'm saying. Like, start bringing in the flavor, brother. Like
definitely.
So MJ, it's so funny that you mentioned that on my podcast. So I'm gonna bring Scout in. Like last year, I did this amazing, what I think is amazing. I did the reading of this thing that Mark Twain had written way back in the 1800s, and it was a letter from Santa to his daughter. So I did a podcast episode, and I had Scarlett. She played the little girl and crushed the role, by the way. And I played Santa, and it's fucking amazing.
That's awesome.
Dude,
that sounds
like,
awesome.
It's out there. Like, I'll re-release it at this Christmas, but this year I'm going to do a pod episode. I'm going to read Sleepy Hollow, and it's going to be fire, dude. It's going to be, you can't beat the classics, man. And
breaking,
you know, I can do a voice, so it's going to be good. So keep your eye, because I love Halloween. I love doing the fall.
Dude, that's going to be epic as shit, man.
Yeah,
that's going to be awesome.
Oh, I like that new special effect.
Yeah, baby.
That's a good one.
Hell yeah.
I love it.
All right, guys. Yeah, tomorrow night, 10:30 p.m. Eastern Time, Feral Friday. After that, Murder Church, 9 a.m. And hell, I don't know when. I just got to work this out. But one, probably multiples, but soon, Bob, I'm going to get you on here for Murder Church if you're down one Sunday morning, brother.
You know I'm down, dude.
That's going to be a good one.
I'm down.
You guys are crazy. Thank you all so much. We've kept you up here. It's almost midnight. I love you guys. Tomorrow night, Bob. Thank you, brother. I'm going to get with you, and we'll figure out what we're going to do Saturday. All right, guys. We're getting the hell out of here. Thank you all.
Peace.
Labor.
See, we shoot them up bang bang over here. We not scared of they motherfucking ass.